Hey everybody! Today's video is going to be on a blonde root touch-up and a new technique that I just tried out yesterday. Before I begin, I do want to say that I am a licensed cosmetologist and I do work in a salon, and this may not work for everybody, but this is just something that I wanted to try out on myself, so I wasn't using bleach on my roots because I don't really want to be platinum. I do have a few clips, like a before clip, a during clip, an after clip, things like that, and then after I toned. So if you want to see this high lift technique, then please just keep watching this video. So before I really start, I do want to say that my natural hair level is between a 6 and a 7, which is a dark blonde, light brown, kind of that mousy color, but my hair does pull a lot of red and gold and warmth when I do lift it with anything other than bleach. Bleach usually can get my hair pretty light, but anything like color or the high lift, I knew it was going to pull brass regardless of what I used. So I was prepared for that. So I did try 2 different techniques to begin with to see which was going to work better. The first one is by Chi, and it's the Chi Ionic in the color, let me see, Ultra Light Ash Blonde, and it is in 12A. And then the second one is by Vero K-Pak color, it's by Joico, and I used 10A, so very light ash blonde. So what I did for both was use the 40 volume that came with the line. Usually I don't care too much whether it's for the line or not, but in this case I did want to use the same developers, so 40 for each. And I used 1 part for the Joico, the 10A, and then 2 parts developer to 1 part high lift for the Chi. So right now I am going to insert a before picture just so you can see the roots and what they look like. Okay, so you can see my roots are quite a bit darker than the blonde I have now. Not by too many levels, but it does look super dark in comparison to the lighter blonde. So what I did was just lift up the hair. So then on the bottom side, I did the Chi high lift, and then on the top part, like the top part up here, I did the Joico 10A. So what I did was just mixed up a tiny bit of both, so the measurements probably weren't exactly accurate. I tried my best, but it's really hard to measure like a dot or a dab of color. So I tried my best at getting that. I mixed them in 2 different bowls, obviously, and then I put them on both for 45 minutes. The next clip I'm going to show you is right after the application. So like I said, the Chi High Lift color was on the bottom part of my hair, and then the Joico 10A was on the top part of my hair. About 25 minutes in, I did take another clip, so I'm going to insert that right here. So as you can see, or maybe you can't, but I could see the Chi was lifting a little better, or it seemed like it was lifting a little bit better. So I did continue on and left both of them on for a full 45 minutes. So the next clip you are going to see is right before I rinsed out. So I washed out with the Shimmer Light shampoo. It looks just like this, and this is good for neutralizing brassy and yellow tones. So I did wash out with that. I did not leave it on for a specific amount of time. I literally just washed my hair with it, and I didn't rinse my whole head at this point. I just rinsed this part of the hair, like where the hair color was, so it's kind of hard. I just didn't want to get my whole head wet because I was going to be doing either one or the other after I was done blow drying just that specific part. And when I rinsed, they both looked about the same. The Chi lifted, like I said, a little bit better, but not by much at all, really. Maybe a slight shade. It was a slight less brassy tone, but they both did lift pretty good. But I went ahead and I did use the Chi High Lift, the Ultra Light 12A. And like I said, that is 1 part color to 2 parts developer of the 40 volume. As you can probably see, I do have darker, like a darker brown down here, so I did not obviously have to touch up my roots down there. And really I only went probably to where the very bottom part of my part would ever be. I didn't do a really thorough job in the back because I don't really part my hair any certain way in the back, but I did go down all the way on the sides. And when you do a high lift, you do not want to overlap what is already really blonde. I had some brassy bits like right next to where my regrowth was. You can probably tell in the video clips that I inserted. And I did overlap a tiny bit on those, but I was very careful that I did not go on the super blonde parts that I have down here because I did not want my hair to turn any kind of funky blue or gray or anything like that. So like I said, I kind of went through my whole head. I did about like 1/4 inch sectionings because I really wanted to make sure that I got every bit of my roots. So I went through and I made sure that I got my hairline really good, and I left that on for 45 minutes, and maybe even like 50 because I kind of lost track of time and when I was supposed to rinse, but I know it was for sure 45 minutes. So I rinsed my whole head, I shampooed with the Shimmer lights, and then it was pretty brassy, but not enough to where I was freaking out or anything like that. I definitely had more orange hair than what this turned out to be. So when I did apply it to all of my regrowth on the top part of my hair, not just that test strip, it definitely looked a little bit more ash as it was developing. And maybe that was because I was a little bit more specific on how I measured it. I was definitely more accurate the second time around because I did use a measuring cup for the developer. And I will say that the Chi developer is pretty thick, like way thicker than any developer I've ever used. So when I put it in the cup, I was having trouble actually pouring it into my bowl because it is that thick where it was just sticking to the cup. So I actually had to use my finger, which I did get a little bit of a chemical burn even with just that 40 volume developer. It was not mixed with bleach or anything else, so you do definitely want to wear gloves when you do it. I personally, I am used to that. I am a licensed cosmetologist, so even when I wear gloves half the time, I somehow end up getting some sort of little chemical burn on my fingers, and it goes away after about a half hour, but you definitely do want to avoid it. So after I shampooed out with the Shimmer lights again, I did tone my hair, and I knew it wouldn't really lift that much, but I did want to test it out because I did use the Paul Mitchell toners, and I will show you what I used right now. I mixed a 1/4 ounce of the Ultra Toner Ash Blonde and then a 1/4 ounce of the Ultra Toner Platinum Blonde. So these are just by Paul Mitchell. They look like this. And then I mixed it with 1 ounce of the 5 volume because for Paul Mitchell you use 5 volume when using the toner. And I do get the clear developer. I know this says cream, but that's just because I put the clear in a leftover container that I had. So that is what I did, and I mixed that and I just put it just on my roots to begin with. So I left the toner on my roots for 15 minutes and then I rinsed it out, and then whatever toner I had left in the bowl, I just took it in my hands and pretty much lathered it into my hair and then rinsed that right out. I don't think it really did a whole lot, but I just wanted to leave it on for about a minute because I did kind of run it through my fingers and run it through my hair with my fingers. So I did that and then I rinsed, and it didn't really look much different than before. And I was kind of expecting that because, like I said, I was just testing out the toner. Paul Mitchell toner only really works with bleached hair, and a high lift technically is not bleach. It is like a color, just a super high lift color. So I knew that really wouldn't work. So then today, I usually wash my hair every other day. But I did wash again with my Shimmer Lights by Clairol, and I left this on for about 5 minutes, and I just put it on my whole head. It doesn't really affect brown hair, so I just put it on my whole head, and then I put my normal deep repair mask. I think I've showed it in a few videos. It's by S Factor, and then just on my roots I put the AG Hair Cosmetics Color Care Sterling Silver Conditioner. Like I said, just on my roots where it was brassy. And that is what my hair came out today. I'm going to zoom you in so you can see my roots. There is a little bit of brass, but it's definitely better than it was yesterday even. And I do apologize, I did not get a video clip after I was done, I don't think. If I did, I'm sure I inserted it, but I will just zoom you in so you can see my roots today. So as you can see, they are still a bit brassy, but I don't think anybody's gonna really be wearing their hair that slicked down, so you can't really notice it when I'm just wearing my hair normal. And the more that I use the Shimmer Lights and the AG Sterling Silver Conditioner, I know it's going to kind of dull out that brassiness. So I have really hard wall water, and I have to use like Malibu shampoo, and regardless, well, I wash my hair every other day, but regardless, I always use a purple shampoo, and I know most people cannot get away with that, but my water is that bad to where I almost have to tone my hair with a toning shampoo every time that I do wash it. So I will be using the Shimmer Lights every time I wash, more than likely, and probably not the conditioner, but definitely the Shimmer Lights, and I plan on leaving it on for probably a good 5 minutes, and that should tone down the brassiness quite a bit, I believe. So what I'm going to start doing, I think every like 4 weeks or so, is doing the Chi High Lift, the Ultra Light 12 Ash, and again, you do it with double developer, so double 40, and then I'd say probably every second or third time I will do a few highlights, just probably on the top part of my head. And I will continue to kind of do that process because I don't want to be using bleach every month on my hair. I'm trying to repair my hair because I did go from a darker brown to this, and my hair is really fine to begin with, so I did get quite a bit of breakage. And I would never do what I do to myself on a client, and I think a lot of hairstylists are that way. I kind of rush into things when I would definitely not do that in anybody else, but that is just personal preference. That's why I'm kind of reluctant to make a how I went from brunette to blonde video, just because I would never do it on somebody else, and I definitely damaged my hair in the process, so it's on the mend on trying to grow out and be a little bit more healthy. So I thought that instead of using bleach every time doing a high lift, it's still a really high volume developer, but it's not as harsh as bleach. And I believe this is a ammonia free. Let me see. Yeah, right there. You can see it says ammonia free, or I hope you can see that. The packaging is sort of weird. But yeah, this is an ammonia free, and so it's a little less harsh than bleach. So that's what I'm planning on doing, and like I said, the toner really didn't work, but I sort of knew it wouldn't because obviously a high lift is not bleach. So I knew it wasn't going to work. It was just more of a testing to see what it would do. So I think that concludes everything. And if I left anything out, please feel free to leave a comment asking any question that you have. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. I always appreciate it. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye guys!